You there, bud? Yeah, click that link. This is a new one. This is a new one. A better whiteboard room. Cool. G'day, g'day. Nice Australian fella here. How are you all? Can you hear me? Oh, sweet. Sydney, Northern Beaches. Yeah, that's the one. Yes, yes. It was Pacific Ocean. Yeah, on the other side. So the big ocean. That's what I swim in. Oh yeah, yeah. No, no. Thank God, no. There was a fella. There was an Australian surfer. He became quite the celeb for a little while. He had a shark come up and grab his leg cord, and he turned around and punched it in the head. There's a video of it on YouTube, and then he quickly paddled back in. Apparently, there's a lot of sensors in there. It's akin to being kicked in the ghoulies. Now, Jaws was my first time drive-in movie. I think I was, gosh, 5, 6. It put the fear into me of the ocean for quite a long time, and I don't like to watch it anymore. It's a bit strange too when you're out in the surf, just swimming around. You swim over a small seaweed patch. That always puts the panic in me. Yeah, we got jellyfish. You ever heard of the blue bottle? That's a nasty one. Yeah, we got some river ones. They're the big, the usual. They're like about a foot, maybe a foot and a half in diameter, and they're quite frequently up and down the river where Captain Cook landed first in Australia, and we used to jump off a bridge there, and we had someone up the top who would um, guide us on a path to avoid the jellyfish because if you got stung by them, it was just unpleasant. So you jump off the bridge into the water, and that was it. You'd be looking up at him, and he'd be telling you which way to swim to get around the fish. I was even more so for my brother. He's dreadfully allergic to them. It's and bees. Yeah, definitely right on the other side. The what? No, emu. Is that like emo? Emos? Okay. Emu. That, we say emu. We, yes, yes. The Yeah, well, the first vowel causes the second vowel to be pronounced as the uppercase sound, you. And we don't, I don't know. I'm not really, but that's the way we say it. We say emu. Ah, yeah, yeah. Right. No. Wha- Yeah, interesting. I was just reading from Wiki as he was doing that, and it sounds pretty much spot on to what they said. I'd not heard of this before. Yeah, but Australia's the only. Sorry, mate. Australia's the only country that has its emblem containing two animals that we eat. Well, emu and kangaroo are both on the Australian national emblem, and we eat them. Emu. I haven't had emu. I've had kangaroo. Stinks a bit, uh, but it's not too bad. You do it in a stew. It's not bad, and there's a special protein called keratin in it, and it helps burn fat. Yeah, it's actually not good for you. Yeah, they're pretty big, man. There's one particular kangaroo called Roger. Um, he he's a beefy looking bugger. Just get yourself onto YouTube, look up Roger the kangaroo, and you're gonna you're gonna see Windows yet. Okay, three dots. Share screen. Now I got a slow connection, so bear with me. Can you see it? Oh, cool. This fella. Yeah, big time man. Look at him. Now that's up close. They seem to have a personality. It is, man. Let me just see if I can find Roger Kangaroo. This is an Australian TV show. Let's just try to scan ahead here. Yeah. I think it might have been a breeding thing. Just they've got a musk. Uh, I'm just trying to find the Joey. I think it is. Yeah, we didn't see him crushing the bucket there. But yeah, they're pretty strong. They do crush. Um, this looks like it's going to be too lengthy. I don't know. Yeah, basically. Um, there's a wicked spider, a wicked centipede, a wicked snake. Yeah, there's a big spider here called the huntsman. If it bites you, it'll make you feel a little bit sick, but generally it's harmless. I've got a I got a I got I got one that lives in my house, and I think it's the third or fourth generation. I woke up in the middle of the night, and I think maybe 100 baby huntsmen just dropping from the roof on a thread. And when I say baby, I'm talking like these things were 1/8 inch in length, and as they dropped, they had that vicious flair to them that sort of said in their own baby way, uh, rah, I'm gonna get you, sort of thing. It was so cute. Oh, they're just puppies. Yeah, but if they do bite you, you do get sick. But generally, they won't. Um, but gosh, they're tough little buggers and they're fast too, man. Oh, come on! What about a rattlesnake? What does that do to you? Oh man, I've seen stories where guys have just had limbs and stuff go black. And I try and find a video. I handled a snake, and it's no, this one was just a green tree snake. This one, look at it. It's quite. I've never heard of him. All right, see this snake here? Now, my neighbour had was a lady with two daughters, and of course the father, but the father was away, and I'm sitting in my lounge room doing my computer stuff, and they knock at the door, and they're starting screaming and stuff, and I says, "There's a snake." They said, "There's a snake," and so I'm like, "Okay." I get up there and have a look, and I get it close enough to see, that it looked like that picture I showed you. And I come downstairs. I said, "Don't touch it, just leave it." And I come downstairs, and there's a, a place here called Wise where you can ring up and they can come get them. But they said they charge for that sort of stuff. And so I thought, no, and I thought, well, snake handler, he'll charge, but Oh no, they told me. That's right. They told me you have to get a snake handler. So I rang the snake handler, and he says to me, uh, um, "Yeah, it sounds like a green tree snake." And I said, "Well, can you come and get it?" And he says, "I can't. I'm in Queensland at the moment." And it's like, well, okay. I've been reading just for the last 10 minutes online that they're practically harmless, and you can handle them, and it's something you could do. And so I said to him, I said, "Look, is there any reason? What is it? Would you advise me not to do it?" And he says, "Mate, go and do it. If you're comfortable, do it. Go and do it." And he gave me a couple of pointers, and he said, "Look, put some gloves on if you're a bit worried about, because they will excrete a foul-smelling bile, and if you're worried that they might bite you, you can put some gloves on." And I was more worried about the bile. And so here, can you set a video? Yeah. No, no, biles from bum. They sh- yeah, they just yeah. Now, can you hear that as well? All right. Well, what I'll do is I'll share it to you, because you got to hear the girls freaking out. Give me a second. All right. Friends. Okay, I've sent it to you on your Facebook page. Um, a lot of it is just playing on the ability for people to have common misconceptions. Um, and so, yep, and so, there's the the thought that if you examine an elephant blindfolded, several people examining different spots will tell you, give you different reports as to what they found. So you've got to examine it as a whole. And so that's what they'll try and tell you to do. You've got to look at the earth as a whole. Um, and so the guy who examines the trunk might tell you it's a snake, and the guy who examines the foot might tell you something else. Um, and so that's where they're asking you to make your own unscientific, uneducated, untrained examinations, and with my slight persuasion, I'm going to try and coerce you into thinking that, hey, listen, this is actually worth examining. And if you believe in these other theories and the other conspiracies, maybe we can just say, hey, look, listen, maybe this flat Earth thing is real. Of course, of course, man. We both love SpaceX and Tesla and Elon Musk, man. You know, he's the first man and the only man and the world record holder for someone who has shot their load the furthest. Yeah, exactly. And then there's people there going, "Oh, the tires should have exploded." It's like, really? No. You know why? It's because it looks cooler than a cement block. You know, and that's all it was. It was just a test of being able to deliver a load into a solar orbit. The central core. Oh, the casing. Fairing. Is that what you said was saying that that smashed into the catcher? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you did say Falcon Heavy. And it was pretty synchronous to do that, eh? I mean, I remember watching the video and later on, yeah, the realization that both videos showed um, the same feed, and it was easy to see because you could see the other one in front of the other one in both feeds. Didn't know that. Wow. And then you've always got people on top of the VAB. Destin from Smarter Every Day, he, not during the Falcon, but during one of the SpaceX relandings, he was on top. Oh no, during the launch, but there are others that are on top of the VAB during the re-entry, and they were, or was it? No, yeah, it was Destin, and he was talking about the sonic boom that they heard. Oh, it's not just one boom, but it's yeah. And he actually, I think he was saying that there was more than one. Sorry, more than two. He wasn't there during that one. This is during a single stage re-landing. Um, yes, something like that. He was saying yes. No, well, yeah, various there's various points along any object going supersonic where it can cause a complete absence of air, and air won't just come back, and to one central point. It'll come back to whichever way is closest to it. And so, if, for example, it was three aeroplanes, tied together, flying side by side, and they're all going supersonic, then of course each one of them is going to produce its own sonic boom. And so, various parts of an aircraft have, in effect, various parts of them that will have their own little booms. So the wings will pop a boom, the tail fin may pop a boom. And so you think about it, like when we cross the finish line, and and it's close. You look at how a 1/100th of a second finish difference. You frame advance, and you can see, it's quite a big distance. It's almost a foot because we're traveling quite fast, and so the aircraft is traveling even faster. And so the difference in delay between those portions of the wing and the front of the aircraft and the tail of the aircraft may cause 1/1000th of a second difference in delay of the sonic boom. And so it would be perceived, and possibly, as it travels, it may overlap and merge to become one boom. Yeah, yeah. And so it's a matter of when you can detect it or not, I'd say. Oh wow. Oh, hey, have you ever seen a YouTube channel by a guy called Derek Mueller? Veritasium. Veritasium. Hmm. It's along the lines of that guy that goes Vsauce. Hello, what did Michael here? So it's sciencey, um, but I'm just curious as to what sort of self-education or otherwise you've got in the world of physics and physics phenomena. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. What's he talk about mostly though? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm. Oh, he does. He has a stutter problem, didn't you know? Yeah, but he gets over it pretty well. Clear, concise, and complete. Mm. Yeah, basically, it's what you say. It doesn't matter how it comes out. I mean, you can come off like a professor and rattle stuff and bamboozle people. It's like, but what did you just say? That's right. He was bloody smart as I couldn't believe it. I heard the theory on Hawkins radiation, and it did make sense to me at first, and um, I'm still unclear on a particular point, but um, okay. So the basics is that um, all the time, everywhere, just randomly, matter antimatter appear, disappear after annihilating each other. If this should happen um, at some uh, some point close to the event horizon of a black hole, um, the antimatter would fall into the black hole, and the matter would fall out of the black hole. Now, hmm? Yeah, but the point is that, and that makes absolute sense. And like I go, wow, man, that's true, mate, because you're essentially annihilating the black hole, and whilst the matter has escaped, it's a trade-off. Hmm? No, I thought it just annihilated once it hit matter. The two of them just drop out. But that's stuff that goes over my head. Hmm. No, I thought that was a star. Was it a a quasar. I think it's quasars. I think what you're talking about is quasars. But I'm seeing artistic here. That's right. Yeah, just it is a quasar. I've just looked it up. Um, but it is a black hole. It is. A quasar is a black hole. Yeah, look, Wiki says. Yeah, so you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Um, I must have been thinking of something else myself. Yes, he did. Yeah, he made an invite, didn't he? That's right. So he sat in the room and then later on he invited, and so it's rather. Oh well, it is, isn't it? I mean, like, but mind you, I mean, if there's anyone that, if there's any point in time that anyone would go back to do it, but hey, it doesn't prove that there is no such thing as time travel. It just proved that if there is such a thing as time travel, which I personally believe, no, there is no such thing as time travel. But if there was such a thing as time travel, then it is not permitted to go back and prove it. Expose it to the past for the fact that you create yourself some sort of a paradox. At least it's not called the. Have you heard the other one called the? Oh God, what is it? Mandela effect. Yeah. So it's Mandela effect is just another way of telling people. It's just another term for common misconception. Exactly. And it's just how we assumed things quite often. I mean, like one day they'll be telling us in the future that Tide Pods was always advertised to be eaten. Hmm. Right. don't know. I just would not want to ingest that type of caustic chemical into your stomach. No way. Oh, yes. I thought it was just a challenge thing, like the water bucket challenge. I got to I got to admit, when I was 12-year old, my brothers and I we did it with spaghetti. It happened by accident, and it was yeah. No, no, no. This is spaghetti, and it happened because one of us laughed so hard, and something happened. It came out your nose, and we've all blown it out our nose. For sure. Awesome. Hey, no, sir, none at all. I drive a bus all day. I do a 12-hour day with a 4-hour siesta in the middle, and I come home. I have a couple of races. And come the weekend, my wife and I are separated. So come the weekend, I go pick up the kids and spend the time with them. No TV at all. I have a, t- well, I have a TV, but it usually only goes on when I have want to have a race and the kids are here, and my little girl will sit and watch whatever's on TV and the cartoon channel and stuff. Here in Australia, 6:38. You ever sat down and thought about what you want to talk about? Like put down a little itinerary. Yeah, because like quite often when you're sitting there and you're talking, you'll have a thought while someone else is saying something, and that is yeah, or you forget it. Um, yeah, and it's like, what was I thinking of before? Yeah, but what about the rabbit going down the hole? What were we talking about there? Send in the ferrets. Now, listen. Do you have a age group that are you with this podcast? Do you have topics that you don't go into? And I'm not talking about adult, but I'm talking about. All right. What about drugs? Well, there's a particular thing that got around a couple of years ago, and the first video I saw was it's called the 1 gram dab. All right. It's well, mate. When I was young, yeah. There's one particular where one guy does it first, and the look on his face is it's marijuana as he gets destroyed. It's just priceless, and his mates are egging him on, and this guy's almost freaking paralytic by the end of it. Dabbing is it's a lot different to how I used to do it. They heat up a series of heat sink metal plates, and then they dab the extract, which they use propane, I think, to extract the THC liquids out of buds. Then they dab that onto the hot plates and it smokes up, and then you drop a cap on to slow it down and inhale the smoke. It is, and I think that's just part of the little kit thing that you do. Like we used to just spend 20 minutes cutting it all up and then put in a cigarette or choke it down and then just veg to the TV when we were younger. And it seems rather involved now. It's sort of centralized around this. That's not about, what do we do after we're high, but centralized now around the process of getting high. Mm. All right, onto your Facebook channel. This is the video. This is the guy. This is the one that I was talking about. Um, um, your listeners may not know this, but we race against some other countries, some Brazilians. This guy, I don't think he is Brazilian, but he definitely doesn't look Anglo. And dare I say it, this is probably some of our competitors before they get in and join us on iRacing. Okay, let's just find you. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep. But they just paradox. I hit pause for a sec. You're right. All right. So that last one, yeah. So that last one there is a good example of where did that then ultimately come from? And so the answer is that if you if you went back in time, the assumption is, and this is where the paradox breaks down. The assumption is that by giving Shakespeare his works, um, Shakespeare didn't create it. But the fact is that Shakespeare did create it, and by giving him the works before he created it, may only give him some strange feeling of, gosh, I do believe in time travel because these are thoughts that I am having. And so once he's read those works, he's faced with a moral. Do I publish them under my name? Somebody told me that I produced them. They sound familiar to something that I would do. Do I publish that, or do I come up with new works based off this new influence or other thoughts that this has now led me to? Because like artists don't just come up with a work just there and then. It's part of their life, and you've going back in history, feeding him these works. It's kind of like telling someone this is your future, and ultimately you've changed his future, and so if you went back into the future and reviewed Shakespeare's works, they may well not be the same works. They may be even more works that he is now able to work on. You know what I mean? Uh, all right. The other, because ultimately it's not possible to travel in time. I believe. Hmm. So paradoxes are interesting, but they come up with a simple workaround. It's just you're creating alternate realities, alternate timelines, and yeah. I was having another thought for a second. Give me 10 seconds because it was about that last one. Paradox timeline. Ultimate. There you go for it. Go. I can't remember. Push play. No, no, it was something along the lines. It was related to it. And I said, yep, to myself, I'm going to talk about this. I started blabbing about that last one, the Shakespeare one, and forgot what it was. Mm-mm. Yeah, but just listening to them, I had a point of departure or a second thought, and if I remember it, Yeah, the only way to travel in the future is to do yourself adult Walt Disney. Mm. Yeah, or travel at the speed or close to the speed of light. Walt Disney, yeah. I don't know if he chose to do it, or whether his family chose to do it. I can't recall. Yeah, it sounds like something. Yeah. Well, we gave it as much attention as it deserves. Yeah. I mean, these people that see, things floating and they go, oh, look, bubbles. It's like, come on, man, get a grasp. I'm just looking for it now. Joe Reagan and John D. Long. Tom. I see it now. Yep. Oh right, this guy. Yeah, he that yeah. And who's his mate there that went flat Earth? Joe Reagan, isn't it? Because I just YouTube searching and I'm seeing him here sitting next to some fella that I'd seen before. Uh huh. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of Joe Reagan when I searched the two. Oh gosh. And I do recall that particular room, that scene, and that guy just he looked familiar, but I think he may have been interviewing someone else. Okay. Eddie Bravo, that's who he interviewed. Eddie Bia- and Eddie Bravo is a flat earther. Uh huh. Mm, that's right. And backing it up with conspiracy theories, and come on, you've got to believe it because of this. It's like the two are unrelated, man. You can't just tell me that an apple's an orange just because it is coloured orange. Hmm. Yeah, let's go for it, man. Well, you're not going to find many. Oh, so I was about to say you're not going to find many strange people on iRacing, but then I remembered, oh, just all the times I've been wrecked. Nah, just everybody. I've wrecked people. It's not a good feeling. You push the limit, you go hard, you try something new, and it's like, yeah, yeah, and it's like I was only, you know, trying to go for first place, and if I hadn't have done that, I could have got a second. And so now I've matured a bit. It's especially with the net coding that can happen quite often. Mm, mm, mm. And the more people that are on there, the further you are separated from them. Um, but on the Indy cars, sometimes it's just not populated, and you are racing with them. Yeah, and they think bumping's rubbing's racing and stuff like that. Hmm. And netcode is an internet thing. We're playing a game. It's physics are a little bit different. Adapt. Incredible. Ugh. I've seen they get up to 3, 4 Gs at Phoenix, and that's a flat track basically, isn't it? Yeah, because the turn one on Phoenix is sort of accompanied to gravity. It's not a lateral G. Mm. Yeah, you get it. You know what? Okay. Oh, we're not live now? Okay. All right, well, I've just joined the Australian server, mate. You coming in?